Are first-person shooters really as oversaturated as people say? Are they really the death of gaming? Maybe there's just a lack of innovation. Maybe developers don't want to retool it. Maybe they are content with just more of the same. Maybe we as gamers are just content with more of the same. Not stepping out of our boundaries. Expecting what we should expect, instead of wanting more. Hello, my name is Christopher Dema, and today I will be discussing first-person shooters. And how serious did that sound? I was just really waiting. I was just wanted to crack. Like, I just thought I would laugh halfway through, but I made it 36 seconds in. Man, I should have made a fucking documentary about that. Oh my god. Well, a documentary about first-person shooters with a point. Mark, DJ, Jamie, you know what I'm talking about when I talk about that. Anyway, hey guys, what's going on? NGS back again with another video. Today we're going to be discussing first-person shooters in the first person. And there's a lot to say on this topic, you know. The first thing, the first thing that comes to mind when people mention first-person shooters is just, oh fuck, it's been oversaturated like no end. Call of Duty this, Call of Duty that. Battlefield, me too, we want to do this as well. We're changing our genre so it'll be a first-person shooter. There's not a lot of love for first-person shooters. Frankly, a lot of people are starting to detest it because really that's only the games nowadays that people are overhyping, I'm sorry. And that's what everyone's talking about nowadays. Call of Duty this, and then whatever first-person shooter comes out. And, you know, I wanted to talk about it because first-person shooters, it is a genre that, you know, it at one point was one of my favorites. You know, I loved playing first-person shooters, you know, some of the original older PC first-person shooters, you know, on the PS2, and hell, even the original goddamn GoldenEye. Yeah. And then from then on, you know, this generation in particular, we've just seen just an influx of first-person shooters coming out from Right Ring. It's like, oh my god, where were you? Like, seriously, what were you doing? And there's a lot to discuss. So I want to talk about the biggest thing, and people are talking about oversaturation. I'm not going to deny that there is an oversaturation, because there is. I mean, you have multiple, you know, big named releases that come out every single year, and honestly, it's not really the problem that there are too many first-person shooters. See, this is what everyone's forgetting. It's not really a problem that there are too many first-person shooters. It's just that there are too many clone first-person shooters. Debate on if it's a clone or not, no, it's not relevant. We're just talking about the clone that is trying to be the next Call of Duty, because at one point, Call of Duty, everybody held it so high because of its innovations in FPS. It moved it forward with all these great multiplayer things. Yes, Call of Duty 4, frankly, there will be no game that stands up to Call of Duty 4 in my personal opinion. It just did so much, and a lot of other franchises are trying to mimic that. You know, while we still do have franchises that keep to themselves, like Red Orchestra 2, here's a Stalingrad, great game, but just too many on consoles that just want to cash in on that hype. Everyone's trying to be the next Call of Duty, and therein lies the problem. Everything is becoming so oversaturated. Everything is just overly generic, you know? There's not much innovation involved in these games. They're just doing the same thing. They're Russians. All I need to say is Russians, and I think that sums up a lot of these first-person shooters. They're kind of pussing out on the campaign. They're making these multiplayer modes that are just trying to be Call of Duty, but they're not, because they're always missing that X factor, the thing that draws people into Call of Duty. Even now into Modern Warfare 3, it still has that X factor. While I'm done with the franchise, you know, there is something about Call of Duty that people just want to play. And yet these other first-person shooter franchises that are trying to be like it, no denying, they just can't replicate, because there's something that's always holding them back. They're just not on that level. And that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest offender. It's not the fact that there are too many of them. It's just that they're trying to be something they're not. They're trying to be a copy. They're trying to be a clone. They're trying to be a me too. However, there are first-person shooter games that are not like that. I'll give you 3 examples. The Darkness, BioShock, Prey. Those games don't try to be like Call of Duty. Frankly, most of them came out before Call of Duty. Well, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, I'm not talking about the franchise as a whole, just that particular game, because that's when the influx started coming in with all these gamers. BioShock, Prey, Darkness, they all do in some way, shape, or form something to innovate on the genre. You know, they're not trying to be the next Call of Duty. They're mainly focused on providing new gameplay elements. It's not just more of the same. You're getting new, fresh experiences like BioShock Infinite, for example. There's a reason that that game is my #1 most anticipated game of 2012, even beating out Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. And I'm not joking, people. BioShock Infinite, my #1 game for next year. Even beating out Mass Effect 3. What the heck? There are reasons. And Irrational Games have proven it. Sure, it's a genre that has become oversaturated, but the way they are using it, it's not just trying to be another war military clone simulator. They're actually trying something new. The Darkness 2 and Prey 2, also other examples. Prey, you're getting a whole new perspective, a whole new different perspective on the matter. You know? So it's not really the fault of the genre it's oversaturated, because it's just, there are still games coming out there. It's just everything is trying to be a Me Too. And now there's another big offender, and that is when it comes to the concept of revivals. And you already know where I'm going with this. You already know. XCOM. A first-person shooter, really? Now, I'm not going to deny, because I love XCOM, I'm not going to deny that I'm not worried, because I think the only reason they are reviving it as a first-person shooter is because they think that's the only way they can get the gamers into it. I'm not going to deny that, because I think, frankly, that's one of the reasons why, as a first-person shooter. But I don't see that much strategy coming out of the game, you know? I really don't. I don't see how, in first-person, there's going to be that much strategy. Maybe that's just me. Maybe they'll prove it wrong. There's still a while until it comes out. That's just me, personally. You know, I might look up more of the game. Maybe they'll change my mind. But there's just too many first-person shooter games that are trying to be the next Call of Duty, that are trying to be a clone, that they're overshadowing these great games like BioShock and Prey. You know what I'm saying? The saying that, oh, if you play one first-person shooter, you've played them all. Not in the case of BioShock. I'm honestly going to say that. That was just coming out of right field. Like, I did not even expect that in 2007. Did I get the game? No, I got that in 2009. But honestly, if I was in 2007, I would have been like, what? Like, what is this game? First-person shooter that's not all about points and ranking up kill streaks? You know, it's kind of odd. And that's just what I wanted to discuss, you guys. First-person shooters, you know, if you steer away from all of the military clones, the Me Too's, the copycats, there are still some good ones out there, like Red Orchestra 2, and I've said them 3 times already. You know, still good first-person shooter games. Just stay away from all the war military games. And honestly, developers, stop trying to be the next Call of Duty. Do something original. Do something on your own. I mean, if your first-person shooter fails as a Call of Duty clone, maybe that's a sign that you should do something else. Maybe after the first, second, and third time, maybe I should actually try something interesting. Can't hurt, can it? If it's not going to sell as a Call of Duty clone, maybe it'll sell as something else. You know what I'm saying? Just pointing it out there. And that's just this whole discussion I want to host on first-person shooters. Yeah, you know, it is what it is, I guess. That was my opinion. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. And yeah, I'm NGS signing out, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.